And it's Ken Kraetzer for CaMMVetsMedia. We're in Washington, D.C. today at the Board of Visitors meeting for the U.S. Military Academy. It's held in the Library of Congress in the members' meeting room. Really an honor to be able to visit there. And some of the participants in the meeting today, Senator Joni Ernst of Iowa, the chairman of the Board of Visitors, Congressman Steve Womack of Arkansas, Patrick Ryan of New York, Warren Davidson, Mark Green, Sanford Bishop participated. Great to see former Secretary of Defense Chuck Hagel at the meeting. He was talking to the cadets during the break who attended. Also Lieutenant General Nadja West and several others. General Gillen talked about some of the construction projects going on at West Point. The repairs to the thunderstorm last July, over $200 million damage to West Point, but all those roads now are being fixed. I was there last night, and you could see where they are got the heavy equipment in place to make the repairs. Also, he reported the cyber engineering building is moving along, and it's about halfway done. And all the steel framework is in place. Well, not quite all, maybe a little bit more. But what a project that's going to be for West Point. Also, several barracks are still in line to be repaired. Then a major project to redo Thayer Hall, which he said hasn't been really redone since the 1950s. It, of course, was originally a riding stable. But they said they have a deficit of 150,000 square feet of academic space. So that would be a big help. It's going to be a few years off, major project for the Academy. And also concern over if Congress doesn't pass a budget, it becomes continues as a continuing resolution, the impact that has on the Academy, the amount of instructors who would have to be laid off, number of staff, and the impact it would have. The next key date is March 22nd on trying to get a budget approved. So, they talked a little bit about West Point being an intellectual driver of the Army, and General Gillen was very proud that 78% of the class of 2024 is going to go into combat arms. And we talked a little bit with Martin Vanaway, the first captain, and talked a little bit about the honors program, and also just teaching character, developing character, how it works freshman year, they're learning, and then as they become juniors and seniors, they're instructing and looking at it in a more sophisticated way. But the whole goal is developing leaders of character. Army officers that the public trusts. So they said character development is woven into everything they do at West Point. They take 2 courses a year that are help them with the subject. Then we heard a little bit from Mike Buddy, the athletic director. I talked about moving the football team into the American Conference, and that as the reconstruction project at Michie Stadium, tearing down the east stands built in the 1960s, non-original construction, would happen over the summer, and that in 2 years a beautiful new state-of-the-art grandstand would be available at Michie Stadium. I also talked a little bit about the lawsuits that the NCAA is facing, as much as $3 billion that they have to pay out, and the impact that would have. They are asked. He suggested and said that the NCAA is going to appeal to Congress for antitrust protection. Always good to hear from the Dean, Brigadier General Shane Reeves. Talked about the academic transformation that's going to be going on at West Point, reorganizing, matching some of the engineering programs. That said, they hadn't really done a reorganization at West Point since the 1980s on the academic side. And and he talked about how they're trying to bring in what's being learned overseas in Ukraine and in Gaza and in Taiwan, other places, other hotspots, Africa, into the classes and talk about it the next day with the cadets. And the impact of what happens when you have to produce 10,000 drones a month being utilized in places like Ukraine. And then really the ethics expertise that West Point has, being the leading ethics study center, all about character development. And he talked about civil engineering being paired with environmental engineering, and that the importance of space studies, space engineering, and that being mechanical engineering be combined with aerospace engineering, and studying artificial intelligence. Another big area that West Point's going to focus on for students. Heard from a former, a retired U.S. Army officer, and a West Point grad, Dr. Jeff Peterson, a little bit about how they train on character development, and that it's woven into everything that they do at West Point. And Sanders project coming up. We're from a couple of cadets, or from the first captain, Martin Vandewey, about the Sanders competition coming up that he had participated for 2 years, which is an international military team, military skills competition that's at West Point every April. Incredibly strenuous. If you watch, it's a full Saturday, Sunday. They go out for like 4 or 5 hours, going up and down the mountains with their full packs, and have to demonstrate military skill proficiency along the way. So just a very impressive meeting here in Washington, D.C. First time I've been able to attend the Washington version of the Board of Visitors meeting, but so impressive. And from faculty, from the leadership, from the cadets, and from the board members, members of Congress who attended, and the presidential appointees. First I got to see Chuck Hagel. I didn't get a chance to chat with him, but I remember when he was Secretary of Defense, he'd be at the Army-Navy games, and then so it'd be in a meeting setting with him. So anyway, thanks to everyone at West Point for inviting me to participate and cover. We did an interview with the superintendent. We did talk to Martin Vandewey, and we talked to Dr. Peterson on ethics and character. So from Washington and the Library of Congress, Board of Visitors meeting, it's Ken Kraetzer for CaMMVetsMedia. We cover cadets, midship, and the military veterans proudly since 2008. Thanks for watching.